Hello and welcome to Rotted Reviews and Merry Christmas Eve. Today we're continuing on with the Advent calendar of Christmas horror movies on the 23rd, only 2 more to go after this. If you've been liking these videos and you've been digging my content, I would like to take this opportunity to ask you to please click like and subscribe if you aren't subscribed already. And if you want to support me further, a fantastic way of doing that is by taking a gander at my Patreon page and all the benefits and tiers therein. So with that out of the way, let's take a look at the 2011 movie, Snowmageddon. So this is going to be my last Advent calendar. I'm sorry, but this is the 4th year. I think 100 Christmas horror movies is plenty. And next year, I think I'd like to open December up for something just a little bit different. So I'm going to go ahead and call this one. And honestly, looking at the face of that, and knowing that I only have 3 videos left, it was a little bit of a tough decision. There are still plenty of Christmas horror movies out there that I haven't seen yet. So deciding which ones are going to fit these last 3 entries, boy. And then I started thinking of something. Santa Jaws. Throughout this year's Advent calendar, I've watched some good movies. I've watched some terrible movies. But the one thing that I haven't seen yet is a sci-fi original-esque monster movie mashup, kind of weird Christmassy thing. And I recall watching Santa Jaws, bracing myself for some awfulness and being pleasantly surprised by it. To this day, it's one of my go-tos for Christmas horror, not because it's scary, it's just not, but it is silly and fun. And I was more just expecting silly. The fun part took me quite by surprise. So I thought, you know what? Let's go ahead and see about something that maybe can replicate the energy of Santa Jaws. And I came across Snowmageddon. Directed by Sheldon Wilson, this movie follows a family that live out in Normal, Alaska, a small little remote town, and they're doing fairly well. They're just a normal family living in normal. And things become distinctly abnormal when a package arrives on their doorstep. A gift. An unmarked gift. No postage, no nothing. And inside is a snow globe. And inside the snow globe is a very, very intricate miniature model of the town they live in. And things go a little bit higgledy-piggledy when buttons get pressed on the snow globe, gears on the bottom start turning, and events start taking place both within the globe and in the real world, including fissures opening up, ice bombs, all sorts of avalanches, basically Snowmageddon. So the real question isn't, is this a good movie? I mean, I pressed play on fucking Snowmageddon. That's kind of off the table, and I knew that from the get-go. The question is this harboring the same fun energy, the same surprise as Santa Jaws? And I would say, yeah, for the most part. Not entirely. So I think Santa Jaws still kind of wears the crown, but this one did have a lot of fun energy to it. When it comes to the low-budget World on Fire-esque sci-fi original type movies, I personally prefer when they take themselves seriously. I love it when the catastrophe is bonkers. I love it when the situation is bonkers. But I do prefer it when the characters are treating it fairly normal. You know, when we get into the 15,000th Sharknado movie and Dee Snider's making his 13,000th appearance, finding some way to sneak in the "we're not going to take it" line, my interest is gone. But having fairly grounded characters running around inside this haphazard, low-budget maze, that's where the fun is for me. And I was honestly pleasantly surprised. The acting in this was really not bad. The characters were interacting with each other in a fairly realistic fashion. Nobody was stepping on each other's lines. Everything about the delivery felt natural. It just seemed to work. And we had a standout performance by Michael Hogan, who somehow wound up in this movie. You may recognize him as Colonel Saul Tigh from Battlestar Galactica. And yeah, he has a pretty pivotal role in this, and he performs it remarkably well. That's the thing I love about these type of movies, is you get the cheese factor, and then you also get some surprises. Just the cheesiness alone and the obviously bad CGs of a lava tarantula flying around, okay, I mean, I guess there's a time and place for that, but movies like this that actually manage to squeak out some semblance of quality, that's a surprise and a half, and a delight. I'm not going to say this is a great movie, but it was good. This is fairly juvenile. This isn't a movie that I would show to kids that are enjoying Elmo, but it is family friendly. There's death involved, but it's not like people choking on their own blood and bile and so forth. It's not gruesome and graphic. It just kind of is fun. Not to necessarily keep going back to it in comparison, why can't you be more like your sister? But I do think that Santa Jaws did have a little bit more magic to it, both in the plot and in the tone, especially the tone. But even so, I did find myself very pleasantly surprised by Snowmageddon. If you're wanting a great movie that's thoughtful and insightful, I cannot recommend this one. But if you are looking for cheese that has a little bit of quality on top, I think this is worth a whirl. So I think that should about wrap this review up. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow on Christmas Eve. Remember, next time you want to watch a Christmas horror movie, first make sure that it's good and rotted.